A few years ago, if you asked the internet what's the safest career path, the answer was almost always the same: computer science. People genuinely believed programming was one of the safest bets you could make on your future. High salaries, unlimited demand, stock options, free food, and for more than a decade, that belief actually worked. But now something strange is happening. Students are starting to walk away from computer science. According to new enrollment data from the National Student Clearinghouse in the US, undergraduate computer science enrollment dropped by 8.1% in a single year. Graduate enrollment dropped even harder, by roughly 14%. And honestly, this would have sounded impossible just a few years ago, because for most of the 2010s, computer science felt unstoppable. After the 2008 financial crisis, the tech industry exploded, and every company suddenly needed software engineers. Banks, hospitals, retailers, even businesses that had nothing to do with technology needed developers. Students noticed, between 2008 and 2024, the number of four-year computer science degrees granted in the US increased almost 5 times. 5 times! For an entire generation, programming became synonymous with success. People literally told kids, just learn how to code. And at the time, that sounded completely irrational. Some software engineers were making more than doctors and lawyers without spending a decade in medical school. But over the last 2 years, the mood changed. Part of it was economic. After years of aggressive pandemic hiring, the tech industry suddenly slowed down. Then came the layoffs. Tens of thousands of tech workers lost their jobs. But at the exact same moment, another revolution began: AI. ChatGPT launched, AI coding tools exploded, and the industry itself started sending signals. Google's CEO said that 75% of all new generated code at Google is now generated by AI. And leaders at Microsoft and Anthropic have predicted that the vast majority of code could eventually become AI-generated. Whether or not those forecasts come true, for students watching this unfold in real time, the message was clear: tech jobs were no longer guaranteed. And many started asking themselves, if AI can already write code today, what happens in 4 years when I graduate? That fear is now showing up in the numbers. The University of California recently showed the first sustained decline in computer science enrollment since dot-com crash. Princeton also has reported that computer science fell from the most popular engineering major to 4th place. But the biggest fear isn't necessarily that senior engineers disappear, it's that beginner jobs disappear. At big tech companies, recent graduates now make up just 7% of hires, and hiring is down more than 50% even compared with pre-pandemic levels. So the old entry-level door into tech hasn't disappeared, but it has become much harder to get through. And that creates a serious problem, because if companies need fewer junior developers, how do future senior developers even get started? For the first time in decades, developers are experiencing the same fear of automation that software helped create for everyone else. But here's the important nuance: technology is not disappearing. AI companies are hiring, infrastructure engineering is growing, robotics adoption is rising. In May 2026, the tech industry announced more hiring plans than any other. And according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, information security analysts projected to grow by nearly 30% this decade. Yes, hiring is slower, interviews take longer, but software jobs are still among the best-paid jobs in the economy. And layoffs are not only happening in tech. Many industries are cutting jobs too. It's a broader economic slowdown mixed with companies restructuring around AI. The job search is harder than it was a few years ago, but harder does not mean hopeless. Many people are still getting hired. What's changing is the value of coding itself. For years, being able to write code was rare. Now, AI can generate code instantly. So the leverage shifts. The advantage doesn't go to the person who can simply produce code fastest. It goes to the person who understands what the code is supposed to do, how it fits into a system, and when the AI is wrong. And those developers, they become dramatically more powerful with AI tools. And this is where things get really interesting. Students are not giving up on code. They are specializing. According to multiple reports, cybersecurity, robotics, artificial intelligence, and other specialized computer tracks are growing. So, is this the collapse of computer science? No. If anything, this is one more reminder that the field has never stood still. New languages, new platforms, new paradigms. And now, AI. Not the end of software engineering, just the next chapter in its evolution.